This is going to be Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington for the welterweight championship. Leon Rocky Edwards, 21-3. He is 5, pretty much 4-0 in his last five. He did have that no contest in between with Bilal Muhammad where he kind of eye poked him, and that was considered no contest. He's coming off of obviously a win over Kamaru Usman decision majority, and he's fighting against Colby Chaos Covington, 17-3, 3-2 in his last five, coming off that decision victory over Jorge Masvidal. Colby will be the older fighter here at 35 compared to Leon 32, and Leon will be the larger fighter here. He has about a 3-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Odds for this fight right now: Colby Covington and Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards minus 159. He opened up at a minus 145. Alex, I'll let you take the first stab at the main event. What do you think about Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington here?
Um, so I think, man, I don't really have a good read on this fight. I don't know why the odds are this close. Um, I think that, I think a lot of bettors like on that are on Colby Covington think that he's gonna basically wrestle Leon and kind of be able to like have top position for across 5 rounds. Um, Especially with Colby's insane. Uh, he doesn't fade in a fight. Like, yeah, he's super durable. He can last like all 25 minutes. Um, but like, yeah, like when Colby he was fighting Usman, obviously he didn't shoot for takedowns as much, right? And I think he didn't do that because he knew that Usman was a very great wrestler. Whereas then you see in his fight against Colby's fight against Masvidal, he was like, okay, this guy can't really wrestle. I'm just gonna control him. Um, so I think like in this fight against Leon Edwards, Colby's gonna have that like same mindset where it's like, oh, dude, I'm just gonna wrestle this guy, and kind of grapple him. So that's like the part where like I just don't know, like are are Colby and Usman similar wrestlers? Because Leon was able to in the second fight, Leon was able to stuff Usman's wrestling attempts. Are they the same type of wrestler? Seems like Colby might be more like sticky and uh, like aggressive, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of question marks because Colby hasn't fought in a while either. So and he knows, like it's pretty much his last shot at the title. I'm not even sure if he deserved like this title fight, but yeah, he's gonna come out looking juiced and looking to prove something. Um, but yeah, I don't have a pick here. Curious to know what your thoughts are, James.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a difficult fight to capture just because of all the things you mentioned. This is, Leon, he's a high level striker. I think he prefers to counter strike more than pressure forward. So that might be where the stylistic matchup could lie, where Kobe's going to just keep on coming forward. But is Kobe going to be able to eat some of those shots that are going to come? Because we saw what Leon Edwards did to Kamaru Usman in that last fight. He was making Kamaru pay for a lot of those shots. Leon does have a nice hook, able to keep his range with clean 1-2s. Going back to that hook, Jorge Masvidal did drop Colby Covington and made him take a knee for the first responders with a hook. And I can imagine, I can imagine if Leon Edwards hits you with that hook, that might not be the same case because Jorge Masvidal, to be fair, he's kind of washed already. So I don't know if he's the best fighter to fight that. Leon has an excellent kicking game, can bide his time, set up the headshot dead at any point in the fight. Uh, Prefers to fight at long range, patient striker. I also think he has pretty decent clinch work as well. He has a good collar tie where he can use his dirty boxing. good sharp elbows as well. He's also an underrated grappler. I think that he's improved ever since he's entered the UFC. He likes to use single legs to get opponents near the cage if they're deficient in grappling. Like we saw in the Nate Diaz fight, I think he took down Nate Diaz a few times. He's able to implement trips as well. He was one of I think he's the only person to take down, before this last fight Usman had, he was the only person to take down Usman in the second fight between him and Usman, where he tripped him and then actually, I think he took his back at some point too. So, very underrated grappler. Solid pace and cardio, can fight for all 25 minutes. This guy is dangerous for all 25 minutes, as we saw with the headshot dead KO. Colby, good wrestler, extreme cardio, able to chain wrestle relentlessly, averages 4 takedowns a fight, takedown accuracy of 45%. I think once Colby gets his opponents on the ground, and this is where he differs between him and Kamaru Usman, he's able to chain in transition subs, neck cranks, choke subs, just anything to really deter opponents from trying to get back up because he's really trying to kind of annoy opponents at that point, right? Like he's just trying to get them grounded and just having to deal with all these attempts of submissions or even kind of pillow hand strikes. Like his ground pound is okay, but it just not much power in the ground pound, right? It's more so just to deter opponents and maybe distract them while he's setting up some kind of sub and holding you down on the ground. I think that Colby has also shown solid improvement on the feet. He pumps out a good volume with his punches, kicks. If you watch, I think one of his fights, he actually landed a head kick on Kamaru, but Kamaru kind of just ate it. So he does have solid striking technique, but he's just not a dangerous guy on the feet. That's just the kind of throughout his career he's shown just not has shown much power in his strikes. The only reason why I'm gonna pick Leon here, and I'm picking Leon by decision, is that there just hasn't been a good showing and track record for UFC fighters over age 35 in championship fights. I think the stat is something wild at this point, like what 2 and 30 something at this point. Because the last time I checked that stat, it was like 2 and 28, and I don't think that between the bantamweight division and the 170 division, fighters who are older than age 35 have gone like 2 and 30 something at this point. The only two that have won is when Tyron Woodley won, but he was fighting another old guy, I think, in like Robbie Lawler or something. And I forgot what the other one was, but it's just extremely rare for a fighter over the age of 35 to be a championship level fighter and champion in these weight classes. So I think Leon's just a system bet here, unfortunately for Colby, because I actually like Colby. I like him on the mic. He's funny. He brings in a lot of attention to the UFC. I just think that unfortunately he's always going to be one of those guys who plays for second just because of how his career played out. So Leon by decision, I think he's a potential parlay piece too. I think he's actually really good value because Colby Covington has not fought. Just looking at this guy's strength schedule, I mean, like he's not fought for nearly 2 years at this point. His last win was over Jorge Masvidal, Tyrone Woodley 3 years ago. Like this guy hasn't really been active. Also, a little tip that we got from our friend Kevin: this guy's been spending a lot of time at poker tables, a lot of a lot of inactivity, sitting down. Like is he training? I mean, I'm sure he's training, but like it takes a long time to play poker if you're a player. You're kind of sitting down, and he's been winning money too. I mean, like so it's a lot of time sitting down. So like I don't know, man. I just think that he's been just too inactive, especially fighting a guy like Rocky Edwards, who just like lives and breathes fighting at this point. So yeah, give me Leon Edwards as a parlay piece. Even yeah, I'll lock it in. What do you think about the fight now? What is your pick now? Do you have a pick?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all Leon has to do, right, and like just stuff takedowns. Like he
Yeah,
probably has it ingrained in his mind. Like that's how he's gonna lose is if he gets control. And so I mean, I think Leon's smart. He's a smart fighter and he's awesome on the feet. So yeah, I mean, I got Leon. I had Leon too, to be honest, but I
okay.
just didn't know why the odds were so close. I feel like they should be
Yeah,
wider.
exactly. And I think it's just that respect factor of Kobe being able to drown an opponent, and also the stylistic matchup that I mentioned earlier. I mean, Leon does like to counter more than he does. Like if he moved forward a little bit more, maybe the odds will be a little wider because they can maybe see it to, like a finish here. But he likes to be patient and bide his time. And Colby's gonna like. Let's make no mistake. Colby's gonna be the one who's gonna be the more aggressive fighter in this matchup, just because he's gonna come forward and try to grapple this guy. It's just going to be up to Leon to pick his shots and hurt Colby when he does go in for the takedowns, just similarly to how he beat Kamaru Usman the last fight. So I see
Yep.
it playing out that way, and we'll see what happens. But I think it should be a entertaining fight nonetheless as a championship
Yep.
fight. Just to tell you guys right now, by the way, people think this fight is going to go to decision. So I would also think that. I mean, the over 4.5, it's minus 215 right now. So
Damn.
people think that this fight's going to decision for sure. So let's say that you want to pick a side, just pick either Colby by decision or Leon by decision, and just go with those plus odds. In my opinion, if you were to try to play this fight, but I'm really confident in Leon, so I'll stuff him in a parlay. Just me personally.